Shalom. I give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us his word. I just got this article out of Sputnik News or SputnikGlobal.com. Basically, it's saying NATO draws up potential plans to move troops from U.S. to Europe. So, they're planning for this upcoming conflict. It was dated 23, basically yesterday, the 4th of June. Basically, it says U.S.-led military blocs preparing land corridors that would enable U.S. troops to rush the front lines in the event of a European war, in a move that would seek to stave off a potential Russian attack. In theory, the U.S. soldiers could arrive at one of 5 designated ports and then be transported along predetermined logistic routes on the continent. So they're coming up with these routes to import, these NATO troops and these U.S. troops for this conflict. So, there definitely is a reason why they're doing this, And they're using words like potential and, stuff like that. But this war is going to, escalate. In another article, was dated today, June 5th, RT, Russia Today. The title: Kremlin calls the U.S. an enemy for the first time. So yeah, it's getting a little hot. It's getting heated. It says they're calling the U.S. an enemy. Dmitry Peskov previously referred to Washington and its allies as unfriendly states or opponents. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov referred to the United States as an enemy while speaking to reporters on Tuesday, an apparent hardening of rhetoric between the two countries. It remains unclear if the use of the word signals an official policy change, as a spokesman had previously argued that only President Vladimir Putin can make such decisions. Washington's refusal to allow former U.S. Marine, UN weapons inspector, and RT contributor Scott Ritter to travel to St. Petersburg was the latest manifestation of the rabid campaign to prevent U.S. citizens from interacting with the Russian Federation. Putin said in January that the elites of Western countries were the true enemy of Russia, while Ukraine is a mere tool in their hands. Last month, Putin reiterated that the entire Western community is working for our enemy, dreaming about Russia ceasing to exist in its current form, but stopped short of branding any particular Western state an enemy. So yeah, it's basically, Russia, hating America, but eventually even America's allies are going to eventually hating America as well. This is Revelation 17:15, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So yeah, that whore represents, the U.S., United States, because America sits on multiple waters. You have the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea. Peoples, multitudes, and nations, tongues is what they call, a melting pot. All different ethnicities and nationalities inhabit America. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, ye shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So these 10 horns represent, NATO, the EU, which, are America's allies. It's not only Russian, it's going to be an enemy, NATO. So right now NATO's, planning up or drawing up plans to invade. But eventually, NATO's going to turn their back on America. just read, 10 horns which thou sawest in the beast, they shall hate the whore. So eventually, America's allies, these NATO nations, they're going to hate, America as well. You consider America their enemy. So, next scripture, 2 Ezra 9:1. And he answered me then, said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past what I told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So we have measuring the time diligently, watching as well as praying, looking at these current events as we move closer and closer so we don't get caught off guard. Therefore, when thou shalt be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, we're seeing that now, earthquakes, diverse places, uproars of the people. Right now, the major uproars are, Palestine and Israel, Israelis, protesting at these different colleges and all that. You have all these different strikes, these union strikes that are going on, and just all over the planet, the uproars of the people. And earthquakes. So here in LA, there's been recently back-to-back quakes. From the LA Times, second earthquake in 2 days rattles Los Angeles, striking El Sereno. This was dated yesterday, June 4th. Magnitude 3.0 earthquake struck the eastern LA area Tuesday afternoon, just 2 days after a magnitude 3.4 trembler hit nearby. So yeah, there's been a lot of earthquakes that they report, and a lot that they don't report. It's just part of the signs, that we're supposed to look after. But last scripture, 2 Ezra 16:16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrow and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, and what shall I do when these evils shall come? So right now we're right at the beginning of these things, man. Because all this stuff is about, to implode, explode, famine, great death, the beginning of wars, great fear, beginning of evils, You're eventually going to push that chip on the people, the mark of the beast. But yeah, I just wanted to bring out a couple of these little current events. The time is close. NATO's drawing up plans to invade. And the Kremlin just called, the U.S. and the Western countries an enemy for the first time. So yeah, with that, shalom.